we're rocking and rolling though.
Oh man, we're already rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
Huh?
check it out. I got this infrared sauna in my place. Are you a sauna guy?
I've never been in one, dude. That's straight up with you. Never been inside of a sauna.
Ever?
Ever.
Dude, I'm like, I don't know why. I have an obsession with saunas and like just heat in general. Like I've always been a hot bath guy. Heat. I'm obsessed with it, and ice baths too.
I feel like it'd be good for you. If I had one, I'd probably definitely use it. I don't know, like, I, I mean, I know you got yours all hooked up probably illegally where you're at, but I mean, I'm on the third floor, so I
Look
got
at
no options.
Yeah, this is infrared. For everyone following me on social media, I was posting. I was trying to jerry rig it. I actually got a hole down here because I was gonna put an electric sauna inside the infrared sauna. So electric sauna is like where you put the rocks on it and all that. And because it didn't get hot enough for me, but it actually does get like if you stay in here for 30 minutes, you get cooked pretty fast. So now instead of that, I had an electrician come. He said it would be $2,500 to wire it in my apartment, which is ridiculous to pay. And so I only paid 1,500 for the sauna, and now I just plug it into my washing machine outlet, and it gets up to 150, which is plenty hot for me. And then in the pool, I have it's open year round. So in the wintertime, I go hop in the pool, and that's my ice bath.
Yeah, well, you're what? You're down in Tennessee, right? So it doesn't get freezing cold down there, at least.
It gets cold enough. It'll
Yeah,
get
the
in the
water's
40s.
probably freezing.
Yeah. The water, getting in the water, it feels cold as hell. So we got JS in here saying just became a YouTube member for your group. So heck yeah.
So what you got going on?
Let
Fill
me
me in.
pop this up. Boom. Shout out to JS. And then I can't even see how many people are in here right now. Can you?
No, but I know I'm live on Instagram for the first time ever in my career. Yeah, I can't see the actual count of people either.
I don't know if I was heating up or if your Wi-Fi froze.
You're probably heating up, probably both. Yeah, I can't see how many people are in here either. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sweet. Test. Oh, boom. We got the good audio. All right. Let's rock and roll.
Let's do this.
Now I can't hear you. That's where I screwed up. Hold on 1 second. Let me turn my audio on. It's been a minute, guys. Been a minute since a YouTube live. Let me turn on headphones here.
Testing.
Sweat in my eyes. All right. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Sorry.
You're going through it. Yeah, I can hear you.
Do the sweat in my eye. I've been doing meetings in the sauna, but I guess YouTube Live ain't gonna work out. What's good, everyone? What's good, YouTube? We got Mike, the used book guy, here tonight, and I guess what's up to Mike's Instagram and YouTube as well. But dude, I'm excited to have you. I guess you've always been a Go2Lister user, but now you're more of an ambassador, and yeah, I think it's super exciting to have you on the team.
I mean, if you think about it, right? Like, think about where your software has come from and where it is today. Like, you know, the leaps and bounds. Like, I wish we had like the early conversations of you being like, "Yo, dude, try Go2List," and I'm like,
Yeah,
man, it needs this, but like, you take the initiative to actually fix things the way they need to be fixed, and like, you're actively in the community, you're actively selling. It's just like you got one up on everybody else because you're actually doing it. So, I mean, that's a big difference between Go2Lister and a software that's been around forever. You just shoot you a message, and all right, well, you know what? If he ain't got it, maybe it's something he'll work on to kind of implement. I'll give you one right now. So I got a lot of people that are like, hey, you know, now that I'm on a Go2Lister team here, they're like, can we have it so when we list an item, we can have it automatically set to a default price, right? So you got smart pricing or buy box. So is there a way we possibly can have it so we can just put $19.99 in there, and then everything we list in that batch automatically populates in $19.99?
Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. I'll add that to the list. We could definitely get that.
Yeah, see, like that's the difference though, right? Like you actually are speaking with somebody that can implement the changes you want to see in a software. I mean, that's all it comes down to. It's so
Yeah.
stagnant in the software space on Amazon, and you know it. I mean, that's probably why you decided to kick down the door and start doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. A few years ago, I mean, books is what that was my entrance to entrepreneurship, was used books. When I was in college, I was tired of paying like $200 for a textbook, and then the bookstore would pay me like $10, and it pissed me off. So I started selling on Amazon back then. And then fast forward 1 year after college, I saw Reezy Resells and Caleb Roth all over YouTube talking about going to the thrift stores and shit. Dude, it looked like a scam.
It did.
Like, yeah, yeah. And I tried a few thrift stores and like didn't find anything, but I knew I made money selling books from college. So I knew there was a path to make it work. And I literally was just like, if I live in my car for 3 months and go source books, even if I only find like $1,000 of profit a week, I could pay for my whole trip easily, turn a profit. And that was like, that trip changed my fucking life, because fast forward 6 years now, and I'm still selling on Amazon, and I have a YouTube channel. Shout out Gary Vee. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess my point is I started with used books, and it just opened the doors to like what you would not even expect at all. Like, I'm sure you posting on YouTube has opened so many doors that you
Oh yeah.
didn't
I
expect
mean,
to have.
it's a grind, right? Like I got thousands of videos, but it's one of those things where it's like business. If you're consistent with something, like you're going to get results sooner or later, as long as you are not the worst person in the universe. If you're consistent with any business model or any type of, social media, sooner or later you'll get results. And the problem is a lot of people can't stick it out through the hard times, because think about when you first started YouTube. When I first started YouTube, your videos are getting 10 views, and it's you, your grandma, your siblings, your family. That's it, right? Like there's no live streams going on, but you see the end game in everything, and that's kind of why we're business minded. That's why we've gotten to the point where we're at in both of our businesses. And I mean, you face huge hurdles, and you didn't just crawl into a under a rock and say, well, you're never going to hear or see from me again.
Yeah, definitely thought about it at times. But when you post on social media, you open a world of opportunity that you don't even know exist. And the cool thing, like we're booksellers, we're media sellers. We're taking media, individual units of media, and we're reselling it online. With social media, it's the same thing. We're making a video which is equivalent to a book, but who cares if one person watches it or 1 million? It doesn't take any more work for you. People can rewatch what we're shooting right now 10 million times, and we don't have to work any harder. We just said it one time. And so it's important to realize, like, when you're going out and you're finding all this stuff and you're packing boxes and boxes of books, like, you're literally shipping media to Amazon, IP that people are going to purchase. Hopefully they'll read it, listen to it if it's a CD, whatever. Just realize that you have that potential just posting on social media, which is fucking insane. Like that, it still blows my mind to this day. And your YouTube channel is doing great, man. You sent me your numbers, and I don't know what your watch time was per month, but my watch time, I think it might be less than you. I'm definitely getting paid less than you based on your numbers. So your watch time's probably higher than mine, but I have every minute of every month, there's at least one person watching me, probably more.
Oh yeah.
I ran the math, and I just divided the number of hours of people watching my YouTube channel by how much time is in a month. And every 24-hour period is covered and then some. So for me, that's absolutely insane. I think everyone watching, whether you're selling books, CDs, DVDs, or online arbitrage or wholesale, for you just to post a few times a month, documenting your journey online, inspiring other people, it could lead to a whole world of opportunity that you never knew existed. And Go2Lister, the software I created, wouldn't exist if I didn't start posting my journey on social media, and I learned, different things and met different people, and literally met the guy that made the software. Dom, I didn't even make the software. My partner did. He's the one that coded all of it. And guess how I found him? Social fucking media. So
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it this way. If you look at the revenue I make from YouTube, it's never going to exceed the reselling revenue, but I'm in the same boat as you, where if somebody can maybe get out of a job they hate like I did, or get out of a financial situation, or being broke like I was, or being in the car like you were, right? That makes it all worth it. If you can just help one other person to get out of that situation, that's why we do this. It's not
Yeah.
it's not like we're getting rich off this live stream, right? It's to help somebody maybe take a risk, bet on themselves, and then all of a sudden the doors start opening, your life changes. I mean, personally, for me, before I was reselling full time on Amazon, I was dead broke. I had tons of debt. Now I got no debt. I live a different, completely life because of the being out, watching a YouTube video that you did an interview 6 years ago, and now everything, the rest is history.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. So we got Mike the Used Book Guy here for everyone from my channel. If you guys have any questions at all for how he sells, what are you at in the last 30 days?
12.5.
12,500 in sales, working about 2 days a week.
Hey, dude, I'm the laziest thrifter you know, but hey, as long as the bank account goes up, so you want to be in the thrift stores all day, knock your socks off.
Yeah, and he's operating like a 50% margin.
Yeah,
So,
give or take. Yep. It's crazy because when I started thrifting, I always thought like, hey, you got to be in the thrift stores around the clock, right? Like you got to be in there grinding 4 or 5 days a week. I kind of flipped it on its head and say, well, how efficient can I be if I'm more focused? So if I just pack all my routes into 1 or 2 days versus going to a few 3 or 4 days, all of a sudden my productivity goes because I know, all right, I'm going out today, pack my lunch, I'm scanning as many items as I can, in and out, no wasting time. All of a sudden I get my time back. And not only that, my productivity goes up because now when I'm out, I'm focused. I know I got 12 stores I got to hit today. Going in, scanning everything, getting out, getting to the next one. And the way you make more money in this is you got to scan more items that aren't scanned by anybody else. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, 100%. That's with any business, you know. Have you ever offered coaching for people? By the way, this is kind of a off-topic discussion.
Like I do. I mean, I offer like I have through my YouTube membership, right? So I got like a $2.99 tier. We got like a Discord. We got weekly calls.
And that's $2.99, guys. Go sign up today. It's not $299.
I mean, it should literally be $299, but it's $2.99.
It could, bro.
It could be. And you know what? Listen, like we said, we do this for the people. So I just wanted a little bit of a buffer to keep the riffraff out, right? So $3 keeps the riffraff out. But we got weekly calls, and I do one-on-ones, and even those are cheap, dude. Like monthly one-on-ones, 30-minute one-on-ones, $25. Like I give it away because I know how it changed my life.
Yeah.
And if I can just help one person get out of that crappy job, like that's why I do this. It's the only reason.
Yeah. I guess my question for you then is, you talked about the scans and how the most important thing is to get that scan number up. When you take people on one-on-one coaching, is that what you focus on as well? Like, hey, we can sit here and talk all day. We can talk about e-score, sales rank, blah, blah, blah. But how many fucking books have you gone out and actually scanned?
Yeah, dude. I mean, what are your sources? Are you tracking your sources? Are you just going to thrift stores? Or are you hitting the libraries when they're not having sales and they have their little sections available? Are you hitting the pawn shops? Are you hitting these different places? The idea that the thrift stores is the end all be all is 100% wrong in this game. It used to be that way when we could go into a Goodwill, leave with a full cart. Them days have changed. A lot of Goodwills are scanning. So how can our business exist today? And that means you can't just rely on your 2 little thrift stores you got. I need you thinking outside the box. So yeah, it all comes down to your sourcing, what you got going on, making relationships like you talked about doing social media. I mean, just libraries alone. I don't do library sales. You would think, oh my God, Mike, you're losing trillions of dollars. Okay, so be it. The library sales I do, I set up the library sale and I scan it before it's open to the public. The whole library sale. There's no other resellers there. I'm the only one. I can scan the whole library, buy as many books as I want. Those are the library sales I do. I'm not the person waiting in line, fighting with the crazies. And there's even ways you can get around doing that. There's so much opportunity if we just think a little bit further than the thrift store is our only way to have a business.
100%. We got Sophia in the chat. Shout out to Sophia. She does 50,000 a month in book sales. She's always showing up to the Feed the Beast calls that we do every week, which we're about to do here in an hour and a half. If you guys haven't signed up for the Feed the Beast challenge, this is a challenge to help you send more profitable inventory to Amazon FBA. Go to starthumble.com/beast. Anyway, we got Sophia in here saying, Mike, what's the minimum sales value of a CD that you send in? Do you send in new or used CDs? And only Amazon, or do you also do eBay?
Amazon only. Barcode media on eBay is all but dead. You're talking you need like a 50,000 item listed store on eBay for me to get anywhere. But if you're talking like minimum sales value, I'll tell you right now, there's a lot. You can get away with selling a CD or DVD at $9.99, and you're still going to clear like $3.40 profit. So a lot of this is really based on how fast is it moving. Is there any used FBA offers? Because if there's no used FBA offers, we're probably buying that 90% of the time. But I mean, I live on the wild side. If you see like the tutorial I did, the Go2Lister one, when I was listing everything, like some of the sales rank on those books were like in the millions. Nobody would ever in their right mind be like, why are you buying an item that's ranked 5 million? Well, what does the data show me? Is it ranked that high because people on the listing aren't priced correctly? Like the software exists for us to do what the software does. It just spits out what we put in. But if we think a little bit ourselves, and that's why I pay attention when I'm scanning, we can buy all these items. Like if Avery goes into a store with his earbud in and just scans, like I'm coming in behind him and I'm going to pick up items that he missed, because if there's no used FBA, the scanning software is always going to go to the FBM offers, which is always way lower than we can get for FBA. And it just comes down to little things like that. And that's kind of how I built this business into what it is just doing things differently.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah. What's minimum sale? I know you're just kind of talking
Max
about
sales ranked.
max sale.
If you're just getting into CDs and you need to get the buy box, I probably wouldn't go over 100K. But for me, I'm willing to go up to 250. But that's like, I have the cash flow, I have, the inventory, so it's really not a big deal for me. But if you're still trying to get the buy box, I won't go over 100K. Once you get the buy box, maybe 200K. Definitely don't go above 250K.
Did you see what happened to Neoscan?
Yeah, I heard about it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, they got hacked and someone's holding the code ransom or something.
It's I mean, that's the thing with these softwares, right? You go on, and that's a big fear with softwares too. Like I can't tell you, a lot of people are actually, I've had people bring it up to me like, hey, I don't trust any software. And it's like, all right, I know you think Skynet's going to take over the universe, but this is how you leverage your business and your time, right? Like, what's your time worth to you? I listed through Seller Central the first 3 years selling media like an idiot because, hey, whatever, I'll just do it. I'll save the $30 a month on the listing software. But I'm here to tell you, like, spending the money for the software now, it's a no-brainer because it takes me so little time to list my boxes every single week using Go2Lister that it's just like I get my life back. And the only reason I started reselling was to get out of debt, make some money, and get my time back. Because if I want to work all the time, then I could just go get a normal job, be salaried, so be it. But I enjoy my time off. I don't know about, I mean, you got a Sauna. Clearly you enjoy your time off too.
Yeah. It comes down to like saving time on everything. And I'm like a hyper obsessed person with saving time. And I think that's why I actually was like good at making like a listing software, is because when I listed books, I don't know if you remember, but like 4 years ago, was it 4 years ago? 5 years ago, 2019, I would take my notes app on my phone and I would just open it up and connect to my barcode scanner. And I would, just like you're scanning with Scout IQ with the barcode scanner, I would scan in my notes app. And I would have probably like, sometimes do like 10 boxes of profitable books. I already pre-scanned these. I would take them, I would scan literally like 300 books into my notes app on my phone. Do you remember this or no?
No, but it sounds like it's a mess.
And then I would copy and paste it and I would send it to my overseas team. Overnight, they would list all the books on AccelerList at the time. And then in the morning, I would have the complete shipment. I would pay Amazon to label them for me, and I would ship out like 10 boxes of books. And I probably only spent, I was probably listing 200 books an hour with that method. And I hated using the software at the time that was ScanLister and AccelerList, because you would scan the book and it would take a while for it to load. Like, that, and I just hated that, bro. Like little shit like that will piss me off so much. People are like, it's just 2 to 4 seconds. And I'm like, no, sometimes it's 10 seconds. But even if it's only 4 seconds, I have to scan, wait for it to print my effing SKU. It's connecting to Amazon. And so with Go2Lister, what we've allowed you to do is, even if you have slow Wi-Fi, even if Amazon's taking a long time, we've allowed you to scan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it'll queue everything in. and then let Amazon, because you can't control Amazon. Amazon might process that and skew slow, but at least I can keep working. And so, yeah,
I
anyway.
mean, think about it. Like, I posted a video yesterday. I did a box of CDs, like 181 CDs. I think to myself, like, when I did this through Seller Central or another listing software, like, that would take me hours, literal hours. Just scan them all. That's it. The labels print. It's dude. I'm all about saving. And if you're in the mindset, because I know you kind of, I get pushback on this, right? Because I tell people, well, I'm only in this business 20 hours a week. And I think it's the wrong mindset to have, to be upset that somebody isn't reselling like 40 hours a week. We just have built processes like Avery's talking about, using the VAs. We just build processes in your business that you develop that works for you. And everybody at some point, there's only so much time in a day to do this. So why not get some of your time back by taking advantage of different business aspects like VAs and software that's just faster? And I don't know, man, I'm all about my time nowadays. And I used to not care. I used to be the guy that just fiddle faddle in a thrift store, look at everything. I'm in the media. I'm out the door. I don't even care what's going on in the glass case.
Yeah. 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 There's like a few things you can tweak in your business just to like increase your hourly rate. Listings, one of them, getting better at sourcing, repricing. Like you can be a reseller that makes 10 grand a month profit, but you're working 40 hours a week. Or you can optimize listing, automate repricing, get better at sourcing, and then be like you, where you're just sourcing 2 days a week doing 12K in sales. You know, we got stupid face coming in here saying my girlfriend's beating me up. Been a day one Go2Lister user, best and fastest software out there. Facts. Appreciate that, man. So, and we also have a mobile app too for all the people that don't know about this. I don't even know if do you use a mobile app at all?
No, I just use I just got my ring. I got 2 ring scanners, so I keep one up here to list and I keep one down in the car for when I'm out.
Cool. Well, our mobile app tells you what your profit is. So it's more of a stats app. So like here's my stats right there. There's softwares that charge like $70 for this. It's free with Go2Lister. It breaks down what your sales are, what your profit is. This is factoring in your buy cost. Tells you what your average sales price is. You want to keep that average sales price as high as possible. Tells you what your sell-through rate is. As a book seller, keep that above 50% or 20%, sorry, is what we recommend.
50%, I'd be retired by now, dude.
I know, right? But other business models, 50% is actually kind of low, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But other business models, you do 100K in sales to make 10K.
Yep.
With books, you do, let's say 30, 40K in sales to make 10K.
I think a lot of it is like figuring out what you want from your business financially and time wise, and what excites you. And for a lot of people, they start with books and they move on to bigger and better things. 100%. I can't tell you how many times people are like, "Hey, when are you going to start doing E to A to A?" For me, I'd rather refine one thing really good and be the best I possibly can be in that.
That's such solid business advice right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Because if I get pulled a million different ways, dude, you know how it is. You can't give any two things 100%. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. There's this author, Nassim Taleb, and he talks about choose your profession wisely, because in your time off, that's what you'll be thinking about all the time. And dude, that is so true. Like when you're in the shower, what are you thinking about? You're probably thinking about what you've done all day. So like these problems you have in your business, these issues you're trying to solve, if you're going one direction, then this direction, then this direction, if you don't have teams operating all those different things and it's just you're literally like a rabbit, going different ways, and you're not focusing on anything versus, purely focusing on FBA, books, CDs, DVDs, instead of doing like retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to get anywhere. But if you focus on anything, wholesale, online arbitrage, books, whatever, if you just focus, then on your time off, your brain's going to be thinking of solutions to the problem. And you're just going to be going down this path that's eventually going to take you to success just simply by grinding. And dude, I have to tell myself this all the time because I'm doing private label right now, which is a new business, but my wholesale business is doing really good. And it's been going good for like 2 years. So that's proven. I have a team operating there. Obviously, Go2Lister is a business I'm doing. And then I just sold my book business to focus on Go2Lister. I literally I'm trying to take myself and narrow, because anytime you narrow your focus, that's where the results are,
Yeah, I don't even think you got to have like the same business model to gain stuff from people. Like I feel like people are so short-sighted when it's like, "Oh, Avery does wholesale, so like I'm never going to be able to take anything from what he says." I'm the complete opposite. I think almost getting ideas from people that have different business models and seeing how maybe I can implement something that he does or somebody else does that has a completely different business model to maybe make my business model better. We got to get past this idea that, oh, well, if they don't have the same business model as me, then I can't learn nothing. I think that's completely wrong.
Yeah, no. That's why I like doing Miami Sellers Conference, because we get people from all corners of the market, which I want you to come to one day. It'd be
One
awesome to
day.
have you here. Vegas would be great for you, but dude, Miami Sellers Conference is good because we invite, dude, like one of the most impressive booksellers that I've met, probably the most impressive bookseller, is Vishal and Manroop. Do you know these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're out of Canada. They do like over $1 million in net profit every year from selling used books. They started in 2020. And so we invite them to Miami Sellers Conference because I want the rest of the community. I want those wholesale guys. I want the private label guys. I want everyone to see, hey, booksellers are legit too. And less about that, less about proving the bookselling community, which I do, I guess, have a chip on my shoulder. I feel like I should do that because like this is what made me. The bookselling community literally brought me up. But what I love seeing is I love seeing like the wholesale guys learn from the big book guys, and I love seeing the book guys learn from the online arbitrage guys. And so having everyone in the same room really allows that to happen. And even within selling books, I'm sure your audience, you have people that focus on video games, you have people that focus on CDs, you have people that really niche down on something. But we can all learn from each other. Like maybe the video game guy is doing something and the CD guy is like, oh shit, I could implement that same process in my business. Whether it's like a merchant fulfilled ticketing system, whether it's how he's sourcing his products, whatever it is, you know.
Yeah. One thing I learned about video games is I didn't know you weren't buy box eligible unless it was conditioned very good or higher. I would just condition all my stuff good. And little did I know that a video game had to be very good to qualify for the buy box. But you don't know till you know. And if I didn't link up with Jack, the video game guy, then I never know these things.
Dude, that's why you got to come to the conference. You're literally talking to yourself about why you should attend in-person conferences.
I know.
I don't even care if it's my conference, but you should just come. There's one in New Jersey recently, AMZ United. So you're not too far from that.
No, I'm pretty close to Jersey. It's crazy. New fan. How many thumbnails with the image holding your head concern triggers the algorithm? Oh my god, dude, this is the end. This is the last live stream. Selling books on Amazon is dead. Me and Avery gotta move in together and live in the sauna. Like
live in the
sauna. That's how you get, dude. That's how you get views, junk man. You know that.
In book business, only the same thing as paying money for a book and shipping to FBA. Only the same thing as paying money for a book but in between it differs from business to business. Yeah, 100%. There's online arbitrage books. There's bulk books. There's bulk books that you're doing K through 12. There's bulk books you're dealing with college textbooks. Hopefully, that would be a bulk book business I'd want to be in. Is dealing with college textbooks. Whoever is in that bulk book business, they're making a lot of money. There's so many
about it
different
like this. With this business, Avery, you could be $1 million seller, or you could be somebody that wants to make an extra $500,000 a month. That's the huge benefit to this is you can decide who you want to be in this, and you don't always have to be in this mindset of, oh, because as Amazon sellers, as resellers in general, we have a goal and we hit the goal, we enjoy it for 10 seconds, and all of a sudden our $500 a month goal is now 5,000. You didn't even take time to celebrate the fact you even got to where you're at because we just have in our mind, we always got to be growing. We always got to be growing. Sure, that's a good mindset to have, but you got to celebrate your wins along the way, or you're never going to stick it out and see it to the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. You got to focus. You got to focus. If you guys got questions, ask below. We got Mike here for a little bit longer.
And listen, there's media. It's all together. Just because I'm the used book guy doesn't mean I'll sell cassettes. Most people won't even look at cassettes. I can't tell you how many cassettes I've sold. And it's the same exact process. You just cover up the label, send it in. I don't know who buys cassettes. I've never owned a cassette player, but they sell on Amazon. CDs, same exact way. DVDs. We find these things all in the same spot. So why not spend the time? We have the software. It's all together. Knock them out. Don't limit yourself with this idea that, well, I started with books, so I can only do books. Well, things got to change. The fees are structured different in Amazon land now. Book fees are higher because they're bigger and they weigh more. You sell a book at $9.99, looking at maybe $2, $1.50. If it's a hardback, maybe break even. But I just told everybody a CD DVD is going to make you $3.40 at $9.99.
Mm-hmm. When you go to library sales, what's your strategy?
I'm going straight to the disc media. It's funny. I made a video about it probably 2 or 3 months ago. I just started working with this library. I didn't, this is the first time I was having an interaction with them. So I just went to their normal sale. They sent me like a free flyer. So I didn't pay to get in or anything. But you know how it is, right? I was like 7th in line. It's way too damn early. I hate going to these things. I'd rather just scan them all by myself. And everybody went in and ran to the books. And I went back, and there was not a single one of them that went to the DVDs or CDs. And there's like a 30 item limit. I got my 30 items. I'm talking complete series, Sherlock Holmes, whatever you want, $1 a piece in 15, 20 minutes. And I turned around and I relished in the fact that all of these crazy booksellers had half a bag full, if that, and are fighting over scanning. Every single library sale I ever go to in the future, if they have media, I'm going there. And if they don't have disc media, I'm going to self-help. Let the crazy people run the history. And don't sleep on the kids' books. A lot of people are like, I don't want to scan the kids' books. Go and fill a bag day, $5, fill a bag, and scan every one of those stupid little kids' books and thank me later and just send me a commission check in the mail.
Dude, that's legit. How are you with relationships? Are you like trying to build friends with the library relationships? Are you?
Dude, it's so easy. People think it's impossible. Over my group, we came up with a template, right? So we got a template. You don't even got to, Avery, you don't even got to call these people. You don't got to put on your suit and tie and walk in anymore. You can send a damn email. You can literally get forever relationships with libraries just by sending an email. I have done this. Like I have libraries that I work with forever now because I sent one generic email saying, hey, here's what I do. I will pay for your extra books. I will help you set up the library. It's so easy, but for some reason, yet again, we can't get past the thrift store mindset. Like we can only live on the thrift stores.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's golden advice. We got Misa saying, do you bubble wrap cassettes with the case, and does it matter if the cassette cover is dirty?
Hot take, no prep. Even if Amazon wants you to bubble wrap your DVD or CD, don't waste time. It's just because they had a return and for some reason it flagged in the system for bubble wrap or polybag. You're not wasting no time with this. It might seem, I always tell everybody when you first start reselling, like every book is like your firstborn child that you're sending away. As you scale, you don't want to waste time doing this. I don't prep anything. I don't test any CDs, DVDs, cassettes. There's no test in these things, right? What's the worst that can happen? Avery buys it. It comes back. He returns it. He says, oh, yeah, the cassette sucked. 1 star. Okay, we take 2 seconds, go in, delete that feedback every single time because it's an FBA item. I know it seems like you should, I really want to take care of my items so it gets to the customer safely. Amazon don't care about this. And honestly, the customers don't care either. So I don't waste no time prepping anything anymore.
You know what's funny is like, I realize that I'm really reckless with books now. Like if I have a book and I read a lot of books. So whenever I'm reading or something, I'll just throw it. And then some people look at me like, dude, what are you doing? And I'm just like, bro, you have no idea. Like I've processed so many books. I've been in so many book warehouses where you just take the book and throw it across. And the idea that Amazon is going to take your book and preciously hold it and put it somewhere, like, no, in that factory, those motherfuckers are throwing your shit around, so when you have bad feedback on a condition of an item, Amazon will a lot of times just take it away because they're like, shit, it's probably our fault. There's a high chance it was a carrier or it was our employee or the carrier going to the customer. There's a high chance it wasn't Mike or Avery. There's a high chance it was us. And then not even to mention commingling inventory. They mix your inventory sometimes. So yeah.
100% of the time. I have 100% feedback, and I've been selling on Amazon for roughly 5 years now. And every single negative I've ever got, I'll tell you right now, I'm sure I was at fault. One of the ones I got was, hey, this was supposed to have Lion King 1 and Lion King 2. And I guess I didn't check it or I missed it, and it only had Lion King 1. It took me 2 seconds, deleted it. They take responsibility I'm not saying be a scumbag, right? Like I'm not sending in like completely beat up items, but just realize that you, at some point, as you grow your business, those little things that might seem like they mean a lot now really don't mean a lot on the back end.
100%. Add eScore to Go2Lister. That's actually on the list. We're experimenting with that right now. So who knows? Maybe we'll have it in the next few months. But we got some really cool stuff cooking on the back end for Go2Lister. A lot of cool stuff. What kind of kid books? Do you have a particular type of kid book? You looking
Go for the skinny hardbacks.
Okay.
Skinny hardbacks. I'm telling you, most of them don't even have the dust jackets because it's the same on the kids' books. Usually the dust jacket's the same exact that's actually printed on the actual hardcover book. Those things, most booksellers don't even mess around with the kids section, and there's so much money to be made. And a lot of that stuff sells quick because people like reading those books to their kids at bedtime. And I think it's a completely, I know it's messy, right? You see the kids books and you're like, dude, I'm going to be here for like 10 hours. But especially if you got competition, that's another way you can find some items. And the library sales, ain't nobody running into the kids books. I'll tell you that. You'll never see that in the history of library sales.
Yeah, I always saved the children's section for last at library sales just because I knew nobody would go to it. And so I'm like, okay, everyone's going to go to the textbook section, which is usually where I would go to. And then, dude, when I was like traveling the country, I wasn't even doing CDs and DVDs. If I was, I probably would have made so much more money. But I just was like, oh, it's too hard to get ungated.
It used to be.
To get ungated. People on YouTube were saying, shout out Reezy Resells, lying to me, telling me that I had to spend $40 per DVD to get ungated. I didn't want to spend that money back then.
No, dude, it used to be.
Maybe that was true back in the day, but like looking back, I'm like, were these guys just lying to me? Like,
no. I mean, maybe they were, but I'm pretty sure you had to go through.
Were they gatekeeping? Were they just trying to?
Maybe, man.
Now all you got to do is go to christianbook.com, buy. You can buy a CD or DVD for $5.
Yeah, dude, $20, $30. If you want to do CDs and DVDs, you're talking $60. It used to be EE Entertainment, $40 a CD, $40 a DVD. It's just, there's so much opportunity.
Yeah, you'd have to have a LLC, a reseller's license, and all that. Now all you need to do is go to christianbook.com, order 10 units of the cheapest CD you can find. There's no minimum price. And then also 10 units of a DVD. Upload that to Amazon. Just make sure your address matches the receipt, and boom, ungated like that.
Dude, you're done. It's crazy to me.
Do you resurface your CDs and DVDs?
I have a resurfacer. It's called a JFJ Easy Pro. So my way of using this thing is I bust it out once a month. So I go out source. I make sure the actual disc is in there. If it needs resurface, I throw it in a pile. Once a month, I come and resurface it. It's the cheapest one out there. It works the best, in my opinion. It's only $200. You don't need one of these $1,000 machines. And you literally, I run it for 10 seconds, and it'll clean up any DVD, CD, video game you have. 10 seconds, that's all it takes. Wipe it down, it's good to go out the door. The scratches are just surface marks, but you don't want to, if a customer flips it over and they see that it's all beat up, they're just going to return it automatically. It still can work, but you can't get crazy with it, right? It's another one of those things where if it's got a little scratch on it, you can't be resurfacing every single DVD and CD. It's got to be pretty beat up. And I grew up in the time of CD players, so I know these things can take a beating and they'll still play. So yeah, it's only $200. I always tell everybody, don't buy it until you got enough profit sitting there to justify it, right? You're not going to go buy it if you don't have any scratch beat up discs. And I even thought about this as a business model. What if you just bought scratch profitable DVDs and CDs off eBay and then just resurfaced them and sold them on Amazon for profit?
Yeah. Do you do any eBay to Amazon?
No, I do nothing else, man. I there's opportunity there, like I said, but it's JFJ, literally the letters JFJ, Easy Pro. It's $199.99 on Amazon.
I'll just add this as a caveat, as another viewpoint on CDs and DVDs for anyone worried about the scratching. When I launched restrictedinventory.com 5 years ago, it's no longer my business. I'm no longer associated with that company, but we used to do CDs and DVDs on consignment for people. This was back in the day when it was really difficult to get ungated, or at least seemingly. Yeah, I think it was more difficult back then. Maybe it wasn't. I don't even know. We've learned a lot as a community in terms of what gets you ungated. But anyway, I would have tens of thousands of CDs and DVDs sent to me. We would never clean any of them, and we'd sell all of them. And then just like you're talking about, customers complaining about this condition or that condition, we would always get them auto removed. My feedback was always really good. So for anyone running a bulk operation, perhaps it is best just to
Cut them
not
loose.
clean them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, is it worth paying an extra 3 times in labor? Like, is it worth paying 3 times as much for labor? You know, it's just something to ask yourself. But I will say this, it does feel damn good to clean those DVDs in those machines. Like, it feels like you're doing something, you know?
Yeah. There's so many things that are like that, right? Like what's the point of, condition notes? Who has ever bought something on Amazon and read the condition note, right? Like there's so many little things you really think to yourself, well, at least I feel a little bit better. I can sleep at night knowing that at least the condition note was in there, even though they didn't read it. Because you get those.
Yeah.
I bought a new Mariah Carey Christmas CD and this one was used, and it's like, well, no, I clearly have it listed as used. You're never going to be able to please everybody, and people are never going to pay attention.
Stupid Face is asking, did you get that shiner from coaching wrestling? I coached wrestling yesterday. I'm starting wrestling season.
Dude, he looks pretty beefy, dude. He might be able to take you.
I don't think so.
I don't know, dude.
Do I know you, Stupid Face? It's so funny.
He's not even flexing, and he looks like he's bulking.
Those traps are popping. But I got the wrestling. But no, this is actually from jiu-jitsu. Last night, at least it might have been from this lady, dude. This lady actually tapped me out last night. It's kind of embarrassing. Went to jiu-jitsu practice. She grabs me. We're wearing the gi, which I don't like. It's what you put on. And dude, she gets behind me and we're doing this drill. And then we go live. And dude, this lady was just going crazy. And I got a figure 4 on her, which is where you get your legs and you literally figure 4 your legs. I figure 4 her body. And then I've never been tapped like this before. She takes her legs and wraps around mine. And it feels like my ankles are going to fucking break. And I tapped. It's like the second time I've legitimately been tapped by a woman. And she was probably like 45, 50 years old.
Dude, so, it's the same way you relate that to business, right? I got people over in the group that are over 70 years old that are doing over 50 grand a year on Amazon. Like you don't know until you actually just do it, right? And you're always going to be learning. Like, sure, there's some people out there that are #1 undefeated champions of the world, but there's only one of them, right? So like until you're that person, you're always going to be learning things, whether that's, your jiu-jitsu.
There's a lot of humility in business that I think this is one of the biggest things I struggle with is sometimes it's hard to stay in the game because you have defense mechanisms that arise to pull you out of the game. So like when you're trying to focus on one thing, you see someone else doing so much better than you. And then your brain goes, well, this isn't working for me the same way it's working for them. Therefore I suck. Therefore I'm going to stop, versus having the mentality of what can I learn from this person? What are they doing differently from me? And usually it's actions. You can take whatever they're doing and put it in, like, you can literally break down a book business. You could work backwards. Like the guy in Canada doing $1 million a year in profit. Well, okay, how many books is he selling? Where is he getting those books from? How is he listing the books? How is he sorting the books? And if you just do all the same things he did, you're by default, you're going to get the same results he does. Is it hard? Yes, you have to find books as good as the books he's finding. You have to get the warehouse. You have to do that. You like whatever it is, but I think that's a hard thing in business what I noticed is like when I wrestled in college, I was always the best in the team in high school. And then when I got to college, I was with savages and they were so good that I was one of the worst on the team, which I was still really good. I still had a winning record. And I joined theater because I didn't want to. I was like, oh, I got to do something. I got to get good at something else. My ego needed that. Versus like I look back at that time and I'm like, oh, I should have like doubled down. Even though I suck compared to everyone else, I should have practiced more. I should have. Oh, Roger that. I'm way worse. I'm way less talented. I'm behind. Therefore, I need to work 3 times as hard as this person. And so when you see someone killing it in Amazon, don't ask yourself, like, don't have these defense mechanisms of, oh, I have a job at this or that, or I have a family. Like all these excuses will come up. Ask yourself, what are they doing differently than me? And what can I do to replicate the results? And usually it comes down to just replicating what they do. As simple as that sounds, as hard as that sounds, like there's a fucking way to get it done. And a lot of times we don't want to stay in the game. We want to leave the game.
You got to be around like-minded people, man. And I wasn't on board with this mindset when I first started Amazon. Like I was a person who was always comparing myself to the next person, but being around like-minded people that want to succeed, right? If I'm hanging out with Avery every day and he's like, yo, Amazon sucks, his business sucks. Like, of course I'm going to start thinking to myself, this sucks, right? Like I'm not getting results. And then like, you got to be around positive people. And don't be afraid to ask questions, whether that's in the Facebook group or, I'll be doing the monthly Go2Lister Zoom calls where you can ask me anything about selling on Amazon. Right?
Go2Lister.com, baby. Sign up. You'll get the emails. Mike's doing it for free.
It's crazy. That. Like we can grow so much, and comparisons are always going to be there. You just got to limit yourself with how much you compare, and don't always feel like you got to be growing. Right? I accept the fact I'm never going to be the $1 million a year bookseller. I'm a-okay with that. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to be one of these crazy people like me or Avery living out the car. And I'm only doing. I got plenty of people in my group that do well over double my sales. Am I like beat up about it? Like, oh no, I'm like, good job. Like, hey, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
Dude, I think something you realize once you start, and by the way, he says he's 235 pounds. I'd still take you, bro. Come down to Miami Sellers Conference. Let's meet on the beach. First takedown. I'll give you 5 years of Go2Lister free if you take me down.
Dude, if he's flexible, you're in trouble.
I'm confident in my wrestling. So what was I just about to say? I was about to get into something. But I got
you get all sidetracked, dude. Anytime somebody wants to
dude, my brain just went like, all right, how am I gonna? I can't do the double leg. He's gonna sprawl on me. He's pretty big.
Yeah, you're already ready. Like 5 years free Go2Lister. Like you're already just giving everything away.
it'll come back in a second. Romer likes to be tapped. Depends on the person. Sounds like a good first date. Y'all funny. Romero got manhandled by a granny. Yeah, I did. Good thing it's not on camera.
Hey. Now next time if you're in that same situation, it ain't gonna happen again, right?
It ain't gonna happen again. I almost got the figure 400 a second time just to see, but I was like, hey, let me just chill out a little bit, be smart, not do it again. But I will say I'm undefeated against Amazon sellers. There's not been one Amazon seller who's been able to take me out grappling wise. But that brings me back to my point. It came back. I don't know if you've realized this or not, Mike, but something I realized posting on social media, when I first started, I didn't know anybody. And so when I started posting on social media and I went to my first conference, which this is why I'm such a huge believer in conferences. I met Reezy Resells in person and I met Caleb Roth in person. And that was like the start of my social media kind of not blowing up. I didn't blow up till Steve Rakin. Shout out Steve Rakin. He put me on his YouTube channel. I got like 1,000 subs on YouTube pretty quickly. But then what happened is I went from being the only person I knew that was legitimately making money online. And my cockiness level was like through the fucking roof. I had 5,000 Instagram followers. I was just like, dude, I'm a fucking genius. Like I'm taking used books and I'm turning them to cash. None of my friends are doing that. No one from college is doing that. Everyone else is slaving away at their jobs. And I'm out here living the life I want. I felt so good about myself, but I was making like 5 to 10K a month, whatever. And I was probably making less than that. Like when I first started, like 3K a month, 2K a month. And as time went on and I posted more and more on social media and became a teacher in the space, I've been exposed to everyone in the game killing it. I've been exposed to the best wholesale guys. I've been exposed to the best PL guys. I've been exposed to booksellers who started in 2020 after I started and are now doing $1 million a year in profit. I've never done $1 million a year in my used book business. That can hit your ego. It's like, what am I doing wrong? What are they doing differently than me? And so I like to equate it to this. I'm like an antenna. You're always an antenna. But back in the day, I wasn't getting much exposure to anything. But as I posted more and more on social media, I got exposed to everybody. And really what hits you, there was a college wrestler, a high school wrestler of mine who went to American University or whatever the name of the college is, the military one. And he was the youngest. He was like 4 years younger than me. And there was another guy that was like 2 years above me. And I guess he redshirted or whatever. And they ended up having to wrestle off 1 year. And he was a freshman. This guy's like a redshirt senior. And he's finally, trying to start. The freshman beats him. And he just freaked out. And so when you have somebody younger than you come in, and this is what happened to me. I saw all these young cats come in. And some of them just immediately surpassed me in some level, whether it was like online arbitrage, wholesale, just sales on Amazon, just seeing them fucking go to the moon. Dude, that was hard for me for a while. I was like, what am I doing wrong? And then like, once you're exposed to everybody, I can compare myself to other softwares. I can compare myself to other Amazon resale. I can compare myself to other YouTubers. I can compare myself to literally everyone. When I go to jiu-jitsu practice, it's a jiu-jitsu guy. When I go to salsa class, it's a salsa guy. And then all of a sudden, your comparison mind can really warp your reality of what's real. But I like to look at now, and Gary Vee always talks about perspective. Now I have this perspective, or I try to keep this perspective of how fortunate am I to be exposed to so many talented Amazon sellers, the up and coming Amazon sellers, the OG Amazon sellers. How fortunate am I to be exposed to all these software company owners? And like from one perspective, I'm like, oh, this person's doing better than me. This person's doing better than me. And like that's like the negative way to look at it. But the positive way to look at it is like, wow, my network's so vast and so big. And I have literally people are just giving me stuff all the time. And I can call anybody and get answers. And that's the other side to it. So I think it is like, this is like first world problems 100%, but it is difficult when you're coming up and your antenna gets exposed to all the talent in the space and you're a competitive human being. Then you start comparing yourself to everyone. And that's like the ultimate path to unhappiness. And that's why I think it is really important to get perspective on where you're at. And then at the end of the day, focus on what works for you and be grateful that you have people around you that can show you the way,
There's always going to be somebody else to compare yourself to, right? Like you compare yourself to me, you surpass me in subscribers, right? Well, now I'm old news. Now you're going to find another me that you're going to compare yourself to that's got a little bit more. It's good for it to motivate you, but like you said, it can be a deep, dark hole you drag yourself down when you're always comparing yourself because you're telling yourself you're not good enough when that's not the case at all. You've achieved what you got to do. You're just trying to build upon it. Just because somebody else is doing something more than you, that doesn't mean you're garbage. It could be the complete opposite. Somebody could be doing more sales, have more subscribers, and be making less money than you, right?
Yeah.
There's so many other things you don't know when we compare ourselves to one another.
Yeah.
It's not fair to yourself or the other person to compare to.
Yeah. It's like, do you want to be a big fish in a small pond? Or do you want to be a medium size or even a big fish in a big pond with other big fish around you?
Yeah.
And iron sharpens iron. We're in this community together. And I think we can learn a lot from one another. And I think most people underestimate how much money they can make selling on Amazon. I think most people underestimate what they can accomplish in entrepreneurship as a whole. And I recommend everyone out there post on social media, put your journey out there, fuck up, make the mistakes, go all in on your business. And then if you also document it at the same time, like you won't believe the opportunity and the exposure that you get. Cause I know personally, like I've gotten so much from posting on social media. So if you guys do post, make sure to tag Mike the Used Book Guy on Instagram. And
comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah, you're right. I mean, even if you compare yourself to yourself, like we talked about it earlier, your goal is to do 5K a month, and then you hit 5K, you say, wow, good job, Mike. Now I want to do 10K. You don't even got a chance to crack open a beer and say anything, right? You're just like on to the next one. Like you're immediately back down to the bottom. You don't even celebrate the fact you got there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy, man. When you really start thinking about it, I do think there still is opportunity for somebody today to go open an Amazon account, sell media full time, and one person operation can easily do 6 figures a year if you really put in the time and the effort. Because I'm telling you right now, there's people that are doing it. I know them. I have conversations with them on a weekly basis. It's still possible out there. You just got to think a little bit outside the box and realize there's going to be sacrifice, right? Like you were in the car. I was working full time. I had to drag my wife to the thrift stores on my days off. There's sacrifices that have to be made if you really want to take something seriously and make this huge change in your life. So just be prepared for that. It's not going to be all wins all the time. You're going to have setbacks, but as long as you just keep your eye on the prize and you're willing to put in the time, dude, the sky's the limit with Amazon. I still don't believe when I can go into a thrift store and leave with hundreds, thousands of dollars of profit. Like, how is this even possible that I can do this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's mind blowing. We got another question here. Misa is asking. I think you covered this a little bit earlier, but minimum profit you accept on media.
Min profit. This is going to be different for you. If you're buy box eligible, you can go down a little bit if it's faster moving. But for me, I like to at least for you to book CDs, DVDs, at least get $5 out of an item. Now remember, this is after your buy cost. You live in California, and you ain't going to buy something that's $5 profit if you're paying $3 for it, right? I'm talking $5 after your buy cost. For me, I'm in central Pennsylvania. It's pretty cheap. My average buy cost is under $1. So if I can get $5 out of $1, it doesn't sound like a lot, But when I tell you I have 5,000 items sitting at Amazon for sale, it's compounding interest. How fast can we turn our dollar into a $5 bill? That's how you scale cash flow. That's how you get your bank account going up. That's how you keep buying more inventory, open bigger doors. That's how this works. But yeah, $5. If you buy in bulk, I do bulk buys. I bought 4,000 CDs this past week. I paid 10 cents a piece. So for that, I'm willing to go down to $3 because I only got 10 cents into the CD. That's A-okay with me. But if you're paying any more than bulk pricing, at least get a $5 bill back out of whatever you're spending away. Because think about it. I got 5,000 pieces sitting at Amazon. That's $5,000 that's doing nothing for me, right? It's held up money. I want you to get your money back out of the money you're spending.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you something real quick. This is kind of a side rant, but let me gotta hide these. Oh, here we go. Let's see if I can pull this up. Do a lot of your students deal with like, I mean, I know for me, the answer is probably yes, but do you deal with like a lot of new sellers being gated in all books starting out?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what do you do about that?
I tell them you're going to have probably 5% of the items you scan that are accepts are going to be, you're actually going to be able to send. But usually what happens, you send that first box, you get your first sale, list something merchant fulfilled, those three things, you wait 2-3 weeks, all of a sudden the gates start opening up. But you got to be, you can't just let that initial defeat of, I went and I scanned and I got 20 books and I can only sell or send in 3 of them. Well, send in those 3, sell 1. Amazon sees you actually sent them a shipment, even though it was only 5 books. Okay, all of a sudden, oh, we trust Romer a little bit more. Let's open up a little bit. You gotta. It's a stupid hurdle that some people just shut down on. Don't let it slow you down. Send in what you can, and even if you already bought it, you can use a buyback company, still get your money back out of those books if you really need it. So don't let that in. It's everybody. Everybody that starts selling media now, you're going to have gates in the beginning. I'm here to tell you, it's a hurdle that we're talking about. Most people aren't going to deal with. So just by you sticking it out and selling a few and opening those gates naturally, you're already ahead of 75% of the competition that quit because the first time they went out, they couldn't send in 75% of the stuff.
Yeah. So check this out. This is a new feature for Go2Lister. This is actually made for people using prep centers. So if you want to use a prep center, use Go2Lister for faster check-in times, to have your profit analytics, all of that, you can. And so we created this feature for prep centers to be able to bulk upload your inventory, which is what they wanted. But a cool side effect of this is you can actually upload a bunch of books that, if you look here, I downloaded 299 books from Keepa from the seller Better World Books. And I just got these are all different publishers. So 299 different publishers. And I created this, this Excel file. And so you can upload it to Go2Lister, bulk upload. Now, when I click on upload, what it's going to do is list 299 books. And so if you're a beginner seller, a lot of these are going to be gated. And so this is automatically happening. You can see it's already listing these 299 one by one. So all you need to do is keep Go2Lister open, upload this Excel sheet, which is 100% free. If you guys want to check it out, go to my last YouTube video. I literally just posted like an hour ago. And now what's going to happen is any book that you're gated in is going to pop up in this error queue over here. And you can click on apply for 299 brands. And of course, the ones that you can already sell are going to be listed. And this is an FBA shipment. So you don't actually have to send this. Don't send it. Otherwise, Amazon's going to think you're sending them a bunch of inventory. This is simply to easily get ungated in some of the top selling publishers out there. So I know it's a huge pain for beginner sellers starting out. So this is something you can do. And again, all you got to do is go to my YouTube channel, look at the last video I posted, how to get ungated fast in books. This is a 100% free method. All you need is a Go2Lister account to bulk upload all these. Now all you do is click on apply. It opens up Seller Central, and you can quickly apply for 299 brands. So,
do you check every book you get through Books Run or only textbooks that buy them from thrift stores? I personally run all my textbooks through like buyback companies, so I'll just use Book Scouter. I personally gave up selling textbooks on my account. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying, either way, but for me personally, I want to be as risk adverse as I possibly can be. So I'll scan a textbook. I sent one in 2 weeks ago in a YouTube video, scanned it, sell back your books, give me $20 for it. I paid $1 for it. Just goes in a poly bag out the door. They give me $20 PayPal. That's what I do with textbooks. But if you do sell them 100%, you better run every single one of them through Books Run.
Yep. I think that's so smart.
Is the $1 low inventory fee killing you? It might be killing Romer, but it doesn't affect most media. So like 99% of media, and I'm sure Romer's got $1 to spare on his wholesale stuff anyway.
Yeah, it's not affecting us too much. So everyone was freaking out when that fee came out.
Yeah, dude, everybody always freaks out, but it's good for YouTube content, right? Because then we can make our clickbait videos like, oh my God, like this is the end, right? Like we're always adapting and we're always getting smarter in business.
Yeah. So I just uploaded the wrong thumbnail on my channel. Don't fix that.
You'll be fine.
All right, guys, I'm gonna hop into Sauna real quick. I got Feed the Beast call coming up soon. So
yeah, let's wrap it up. Go2Lister. I'm going to be doing monthly coaching calls. We're going to be doing this every single month too going forward. I got tons of content. Like I said, I literally just priced 180 CDs in the last video using Go2Lister. So you guys can see exactly how I use the smart pricing, how it actually works, what I'm changing from it. There's so much knowledge out there around this. Like, let's get together. Let's all make a bunch of money. We don't got to gatekeep nothing. There's plenty of books, CDs, DVDs out there. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm all in, dude. I don't know about you. I know you're all in. I already know that much, but I mean, let's get out there. Let's get
inventory, bro. My old business, I no longer have it. I literally sold it so I could focus on Go2Lister. Shout out restrictedinventory.com.
Grind hard, well done, sir, and welcome to.
No longer my business, but it's in good hands. Omer has it now. So if you guys do have restricted textbooks, I do think restricted inventory is one of the best solutions. If you have like $100 textbook,
oh yeah, for sure,
restricted inventory, they are going to pay you $80.
$80,
yep. They only keep 20 for themselves. They only ever keep 20 max. If you send a $10 profit book, they split it 50-50. So,
oh yeah,
and Books Run, I think that advice you gave on Books Run, shout out to them as well. They're the official sponsor of my YouTube channel. Dude, that is like, it's one of those things people don't realize how good of advice that is, because you've probably saved yourself from an account shutdown. You've probably saved so many of your followers, but don't send in books that say highly likely counterfeit on Books Run. You don't have to run every single book through it, but just run textbooks through it. And in the future, that's actually really high on my list, is when you're listing with Go2Lister, we're going to have that Books Run counterfeit calculator automatically pop up. So
that's what I'm saying, dude. You know, the only one changing the game here in the software space. So, I mean, I'm not going to say it's easy because everybody else is asleep at the wheel, but I mean, you're going to be knocking them out the park here real soon.
Heck yeah. All right, Mike, thanks for coming on.
All right, everybody have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with us.